Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Game Loop Recap. Man oh man, is this week ever packed with news. We've got award show drama, some pretty big leaks, a couple of cancellations, and even some studios trying to win back our love.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, we've got labor issues, surprise release dates, even some physics stuff that's, well, let's just say it's got people talking.
So, ready to jump into the chaos?
Bring it on.
All right, first up, the Game Awards.
Oh boy, here we go.
They're really shaking things up this year,
Yeah.
and not everybody's thrilled about it. They changed the rules for their Game of Year award. So now DLC, expansions, remasters, all that stuff released in 2024 can be nominated alongside, brand new games.
Yeah, and to make it even spicier, they specifically mentioned Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree as a potential contender, which is, kind of wild when you think about it, because the base game won Game of the Year in 2022.
Right. It's like, what even IS Game of the Year anymore? Is it about rewarding the single best experience, even if it's like building on a previous game? Or is it about showcasing fresh innovation and new ideas?
Some folks are saying that having a separate Best DLC category would solve the whole thing. But even then, wouldn't that award just become less prestigious?
True. It'd be like, oh, here's your consolation prize for making great DLC.
Ah,
But honestly, this all hinges on whether Shadow of the Erdtree actually lives up to the hype. If it blows everyone away, if it's truly groundbreaking, maybe a back-to-back win for Elden Ring wouldn't be so crazy, right?
I mean, it would definitely be unprecedented. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how the expansion shapes up.
For sure. Speaking of things shaping up, we've got some juicy leaks about Assassin's Creed. Shadows.
Oh yeah, hit me with those leaks.
It looks like it's going to have a battle pass. First time ever in the series.
Whoa, really? That's a big change for Assassin's Creed. What do we know about it so far?
Well, the leaked images show a free battle pass with 20 tiers. And it seems like you earn rewards by completing daily missions, all tied into this new Animus Hub, which I guess is some kind of modern-day story hub that's supposed to connect future AC games.
Interesting. So they're really going all in on that modern-day storyline. Remember what Mark Alexis Cote, the big boss over at Assassin's Creed, was saying about the Animus Hub a while back, about how it would give the modern-day story a fresh direction?
Yeah. He even talked about exploring deeper themes like memory and identity, how the past shapes who we are, ambitious stuff. But honestly, I'm a little wary. They've struggled to make that modern-day story feel relevant in the past.
Right. It's always been kind of hit or miss.
So I'm curious to see how they handle it this time around.
All right, well, let's move on from games of the future to the Splinter Cell movie, the one that was supposed to star Tom Hardy. It's officially been canceled.
I was actually looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's a bummer for sure. The producer just said they couldn't get it right, which, honestly, could mean anything. Script problems, budget issues, who knows?
Such a tease. At least we've still got that animated series coming to Netflix. Splinter Cell. Death Watch, I think it's called.
It's not a movie, but hey, maybe it'll be a cool way to explore Sam Fisher's world. Sometimes animation can be a bit more creative, Maybe they can capture that Splinter Cell feeling in a way that a live-action movie just couldn't.
Fingers crossed. Oh, and hey, speaking of long-awaited adaptations, remember that Watch Dogs movie that was announced like a decade ago? They've finally finished filming.
Wow, I'd almost given up on that one. Now the question is, when are we actually going to get to see it?
Right. But hey, wrapping production is a huge step. Clearly a lot of work went into it.
Okay, let's shift gears to something a bit more serious. We've got some labor issues brewing over at ZeniMax, which, as you might remember, is Bethesda's parent company, and they're owned by Microsoft now. Hundreds of workers are going on strike, and it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, this is definitely making waves in the industry. So for those who need a refresher, ZeniMax is the parent company of Bethesda, which makes games like Fallout and Elder Scrolls. And a couple of years ago, Microsoft bought ZeniMax for a ton of money.
Right. And now, hundreds of workers at ZeniMax Studios are going on strike. It's actually a pretty significant moment because it's the first Microsoft-recognized video game union in the U.S. They just formed earlier this year.
Whoa, so this is a historic strike. But why are they striking? What are the issues?
Well, one of the big problems is that Microsoft has been outsourcing some of their quality assurance or QA work, and they haven't been negotiating with the union about it, which is a big concern. The union is the Communications Workers of America, or CWA for short.
So they're worried that this outsourcing is going to lead to lower wages, And less job security for their unionized staff, which, is a valid concern.
Exactly. And this isn't even the only issue. They're also protesting Microsoft's policies on remote work, which honestly has been a point of contention at a lot of gaming companies lately. Like what happened at Activision.
It's definitely a complicated situation, especially because all of this is happening while Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, is out there talking about how well Xbox is doing and painting this picture of a bright future.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how these labor concerns fit into that picture.
It does. It's like, are they really listening to the concerns of the people who are actually making these games?
Oh, it'll be crucial to see how Microsoft responds to all of this and whether they're willing to actually work with the union to find some solutions.
Absolutely. Okay, now let's talk about a different kind of controversy. This one involves Steam, the biggest PC gaming platform out there. It seems like it's become a bit of a breeding ground for hate speech and extremist content.
Oh, no, really? I use Steam all the time. What's going on?
Well, a new report from the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL,
Mhm.
found over 1.8 million instances of this kind of stuff on Steam.
1.8 million. That's a lot. What kind of content are we talking about?
We're talking Nazi imagery, support
Mhm.
for terrorist groups, just all kinds of awful stuff.
Yeah.
And the ADL actually said in their report that this content was relatively easy to find, which is pretty damning. It makes you wonder, what is Valve, the company that owns Steam, doing about this? Are they doing enough, to keep their platform safe and inclusive?
Yeah, you'd think with a platform as huge as Steam, they'd have more robust systems in place to catch this kind of stuff.
Right. So the ADL is urging Valve to step it up, adopt stricter policies, and enforce them. It's not enough to just have rules. You got to actually do something about it.
It's a problem that goes way beyond Steam, though, right? It's about all these online platforms struggling to moderate user-generated content effectively. It's tough. You have to find that balance between freedom of expression and protecting people from harmful content.
It's a tough balance for sure.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of platforms needing a bit of a cleanup, let's talk about Diablo 4. Remember how rough that launch was?
Oh, yeah. It was a bit of a mess.
Well, Blizzard is pulling out all the stops to get players back into the game, especially with Season 7 coming up.
Oh, really? What are they doing?
They're throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. First of all, there's a one-time level 50 boost for any Eternal Realm character. If you own the expansion, you get 2 WO boosts. Then there's a free trial of the Vessel of Hatred expansion for PC players, but it comes with a level cap for the Spiritborn class.
So you can try out the expansion but not fully experience it? That's an interesting approach.
It is. And then, of course, we've got the events. The Red Cloaked Horror event is back with some cool rewards. You remember Gileon's Brew, that crazy elixir?
Oh, yeah, that thing was OP.
It's back. And there's also the Mother's Blessing event, which gives you a boost to XP and gold. Plus, they're having a campfire chat live stream on November 21st to give us all the details about the 2.1 PTR, the public test realm.
The PTR, so players can test out new features and stuff before it goes live.
Exactly. They're really going all out to get people excited for Season 7. But is it enough? Have they really done enough to address the problems that plagued the game's launch? I guess we'll have to see.
Only time will tell. Speaking of things to look forward to, remember Infinity Nikki? That adorable-looking, open-world, dress-up adventure game. It finally has a release date, December 5th.
That's right around the corner. I'm curious about this one. It's such a weird concept, like open-world exploration mixed with fashion.
And get this, one of the main designers is Kentaro Tamanaga, a veteran Nintendo developer who actually worked on Breath of the Wild.
Whoa, seriously, that's quite a pedigree.
Right. It'll be interesting to see how much of that Breath of the Wild magic makes its way into a dress-up game.
I know, it's like two completely different worlds colliding.
And with over 30 million pre-registrations, it seems like people are definitely intrigued.
Okay, let's talk about everyone's favorite post-apocalyptic robot dinosaur game, Horizon.
Love that game. What's the news?
Well, the rumor mill is churning with talk of a Horizon MMO. And get this, it could be coming out as early as next year.
Whoa, an MMO. I mean, it's not a totally crazy idea. The Horizon world is rich and expansive, perfect for a sprawling online experience. But do we have any actual evidence to back this up?
We do. Guerrilla Games recently posted a job opening for a QA intern. And the internship would begin in the first half of 2025, which kind of hints that something big might be launching around then.
Ah, I see. So this could be for that rumored Horizon MMO that NCSoft is supposedly working on, codenamed Project H.
Right, but some folks are speculating that Guerrilla might be making their own Horizon multiplayer game separate from the MMO.
Wait, two Horizon multiplayer games?
That's the rumor. And considering Sony's been pushing pretty hard into the live service market lately, it's not totally implausible they want a piece of that pie.
It would definitely be interesting to see if they could pull off two distinct Horizon multiplayer experiences. Like, maybe one's a more traditional MMO, while the other focuses on a different style of online gameplay.
Tons of possibilities. Speaking of possibilities, we've got another PC port to talk about. Stellar Blade, that gorgeous-looking PS5 sci-fi action game, is coming to PC in 2025. And get this, the developer, Shift Up, is actually predicting that PC sales will be higher than console sales.
Really? Now that's a bold prediction, especially
Yeah.
for a game that was originally a PlayStation exclusive.
I know, right? But when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. Steam's share of the AAA gaming market keeps growing, and games like Black Myth, Wukong are proving that there's a huge appetite for high-quality PC titles.
True. And with Black Myth, Wukong's success, it's clear that PC gamers are willing to embrace games from all over the world, not just the usual Western studios.
It feels like PC gaming is having a bit of a renaissance right now. And to add to that, Stellar Blade is also getting some Nier, Automata DLC, and a photo mode on November 20th.
Oh, wow. They're really going all in on the PC release, huh?
They are. Okay, brace yourselves, because this next one is interesting. The developers of the first Descendant, the free-to-play looter shooter, have confirmed that they're adding a much-requested feature. Jiggle physics.
Wait, jiggle physics?
Yeah, they made this super formal announcement about it during a recent Q&A, and it's already become a bit of a meme online.
I can only imagine.
The best part is, the developers were so serious about it, like they were announcing a new scientific discovery or something.
So basically, they cave to the demands of the jiggle physics enthusiasts out there.
Pretty much. But hey, at least they're listening to their players, right?
Yeah.
Even if those requests are a little, well, let's just say unique.
I guess you could say they're committed to giving the people what they want.
All right, last but not least, we've got to talk about Xbox. Have you seen their new marketing campaign? They're pushing this whole Xbox is everything idea, basically saying that any device with a screen can be an Xbox.
Xbox is everything. That's bold.
It is. Their actual slogan is, whether you have an Xbox console, PC, Samsung Smart TV, handheld mobile phone, Amazon Fire TV stick, or even a MetaQuest, you have an Xbox.
So they're not even trying to sell you on a console anymore. They just want you in their ecosystem playing their games no matter what you're playing on.
It's a pretty radical shift, and it ties into what Phil Spencer has been saying about not trying to out-console Sony or Nintendo. They're changing the game, literally.
It's a smart move, but it does raise some questions. Like, if Xbox is everything, is it also kind of nothing? Can they keep a distinct identity when they're spreading themselves across so many platforms?
It's a good question, and here's another one for you. Even with this whole Xbox is everything strategy, they're still making new consoles. They're working on a next-gen console, and there are even rumors of a new Xbox handheld in development.
It's like they're hedging their bets, right? Embracing the future, but not totally giving up on the past.
There's some casting drama brewing around Amazon's Tomb Raider series. Reports are saying that Sophie Turner, Sansa Stark from Game of Thrones, is in the running to play Lara Croft.
Oh, wow. That's a choice.
It is.
Yeah.
And predictably, the internet is having a meltdown. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's a tough role to fill.
For sure. Lara Croft is such an iconic character. It's hard to imagine anyone else but, the classic Lara we all grew up with.
I guess a lace. But there's another interesting wrinkle to this whole thing. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the brilliant mind behind Fleabag and Killing Eve, is involved in the series as an executive producer and writer.
Oh, interesting. She's a phenomenal writer. Maybe she can bring a fresh perspective to Lara Croft's character.
I hope so. And get this, she's also working on the new Tomb Raider movie. Apparently, Amazon is trying to create a whole connected Tomb Raider universe, spanning film, TV, and games.
Wow, a whole Tomb Raider universe. That's ambitious. It'll be fascinating to see how it all comes together and whether they can manage to capture that classic Tomb Raider spirit while still appealing to a modern audience.
For sure. So that Tomb Raider casting. I'm still not sure how I feel about Sophie Turner's Lara Croft.
It's a tough one, right? I mean, Lara Croft is such a legend.
Exactly. But remember, Phoebe Waller-Bridge is writing the series,
Hmm.
and she's pretty amazing at creating strong female characters.
True. Maybe we'll get a whole new side of Lara Croft, One that shows her vulnerability and growth, not just the action hero stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hmm.
I'm willing to give Waller-Bridge the benefit of the doubt,
Yeah.
but I'm curious to hear what our listeners think. Who would you cast as Lara Croft?
Yeah, hit us up in the comments.
We want to know. And on that note, I think that's a wrap for this episode of the Game Loop Recap.
Another week, another mountain of gaming news conquered.
It's been a wild ride, but we made it. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, keep on gaming.